and welcome to the next Farming Simulator podcast. Today we have a very, very special topic, and of course I have two very, very special guests. First of all, with me is Chucky. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
And second of all, we have the CEO of Nitrado, Marcel Bösendorfer. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to have you here. First time on our podcast.
Yes.
And of course, there is a reason why Marcel is here on our podcast.
Yeah.
And
people might guess already.
People might have seen the topic of the podcast as well, or our blog post yesterday, because it's super big. We just announced crossplay.
Woo!
And it's a super big topic, and I'm pretty sure that everyone who plays on a console is like, oh my god, barbecue.
Exactly. It is awesome. And of course, that means that we need servers for that. And that is the reason why we invited Nitrado to talk a little bit about what Nitrado does, how the server technology works, and of course, how it can help you out there to make the best use of crossplay once it hits with Farming Simulator 22 on November 22nd. So, Mr. Marcel, this is your time to tell everyone about Nitrado. What is Nitrado? Where is Nitrado? And why is Nitrado?
Oh my God. I don't want this to be a monologue, so please interrupt me if you have any question or something. So yeah, first of all, I'm Marcel. Thanks for having me here. It's really an honor being on that podcast. We've been supporting Farming Simulator since a long time. It was, I think, Farming Sim 13 when we supported the crowdfunding campaign for the development of the dedicated servers. And
oh man, that is a long time ago.
Super long, yeah. Since then we are partners, and I would say even good friends. You remember the time at PAX and so on.
Oh man, I just want to say that again. PAX is the best event I've ever been to in my life.
That was fantastic.
I love Gamescom, I love E3, but man, PAX is the best. And yeah, that was the first time I think we had a shared booth, at least the first time I remember that we had a shared booth, Nitrado and us.
Yeah, that was a fun time, definitely. And
oh man, that was a good time.
I think it shows how friendly we are.
Absolutely, how close we are. I mean, you also, technically, you are a more or less founding sponsor of the Farming Simulator League. If I recall correctly, Nitrado was the first sponsor we had supporting Farming Simulator League. So there's a very close connection between Nitrado and Giants. And that's why it was so easy for me to go, look, I need someone who knows more about servers than I do, which is pretty much everyone out there on the street, but I need an expert here. And we do have crossplay, so we bring in Nitrado because that means that we have someone who can tell you guys out there what that means for you. First of all, maybe, Chucky, do you want to explain crossplay for the guys out there?
Of course. So crossplay, in the common sense, how a lot of people use it, means that players from one platform can play with players from the other platform. Specifically for Farming Simulator, that means that with Farming Simulator 22, when it launches, you will be able to play with your friends on pretty much almost any other platform. I think there is some exceptions. Correct me there if I'm wrong.
There is, namely Stadia.
Stadia, for example, yeah. But, for example, PC players will be able to play with PlayStation players. PlayStation players will be able to play with Xbox players. Xbox players will be able to play with PC players. And just everything. It is cross-play, like crossing all the streams in this regard. And there will be no explosions.
Yeah. Across all platforms, basically. Yeah. So Stadia being an exception because of as we speak now, because things might change, especially with Stadia being a very new technology, things are changing all the time. But right now, there's no mod support on Stadia. And therefore, it's a little bit more complicated. Stadia, of course, does already have crossplay with PC, and that is still there. It's not that we are taking away these options from Stadia. However, how the crossplay with consoles work, we are not sure at this specific time. Right now, that this will work with consoles. However, you said it, console and PC will be able to play together. Same goes for Xbox and PlayStation, of course. Nintendo Switch, nope, because it is not the same game, right? There is no Farming Simulator 22 on Nintendo Switch, so you can't just join in with Farming Simulator 19. That's not how crossplay works. You have to have the current iteration of the game. And that also means that console players can use servers from there on.
Yep. So maybe I can
new thing.
tell a little bit more about servers. Because
tell us everything about servers.
Maybe not everyone who's listening to the podcast is actually aware of what a server really is. So server software, Giants calls it dedicated server, is basically a piece of software that is running on machines in a data center. And we are a official licensed partner to do that and offer everyone who wants to rent a server a super seamless experience. And we have data centers around the globe, 10 at the moment, from the Americas to Europe to the Asia Pacific region, to cover almost the whole globe. And to get your own server, you just go to nitrado.net or use our very good looking and awesome smartphone app or the native app on the Xbox store to rent your server, and then we will take care of the rest. That means we offer a nice web UI user interface where you can configure your server, and we ensure that it's up and running 24/7. You can adjust a couple of settings, install mods and so on, and then enjoy the farming sim with your friends.
And this is the main difference console players will see. Like PC players are like, oh yeah, I know this. I'm doing this for 10 years. I know exactly what they are talking about. But for console players, the main difference in gameplay is that the server is running the game on itself. Like everyone connects to that server. If you are a console player right now, one of you guys has to be the host of the game. One of you has to be the one that everyone connects to. He creates basically the game. With the servers, there is this server out there, and everyone can connect at any time, even if the guy who started it all is not there. He's still at school, at work, wherever he is, out on the field, having a good time with friends. Everyone else can still connect to that server and continue to play. That's just how it works.
Super
PC
convenient.
It's super convenient. PC players are doing this for years now. For console players, it's absolutely new. And we know a lot of people have asked for it in Farming Simulator 19 and in 17. So it is a thing with 22. That means, Marcel, and I have to ask, the second Farming Simulator 22 goes live, you are basically ready to have servers for console players, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So actually, we will be accepting pre-orders starting on Monday, September the 20th. So you can already sign up so that you have the server ready on launch day.
Oops, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's brand new information. Actually, I just got that date today. So
exclusive new info.
Yeah.
But then again, I already have a Nitrado server. I don't need to sign up for it. I just need to switch to Farming Simulator 22 from, you guessed it, Farming Simulator 19, because I'm a PC player.
Yeah. Maybe worth to mention, for the PC players, we do offer a feature called game switching, where you can just change the game. So if you already own a Farming Sim 19 server, and you can use that now, and then when 22 is out, you can just change the game. That means the game server is changing the version to Farming Sim 22.
Oh, sweet. This will sound a little bit like an advertisement now. But
sorry.
No. I mean, but what comes now? I did that before because I started to play a different game at one point and wanted to use my Nitrado server, and it was actually a 2-click thing. Like go to the website, click on the game I wanted, restart server, done, play. That was super easy, super quick. So yeah, definitely works. I can confirm that for sure because I tried it.
On PC, I see the merit of having your own dedicated server, but for me personally, it would be too much work. I'd rather go to Nitrado.
Yeah, setting up your own server also means you need your own license. With Nitrado, you don't, because as Marcel said, they are official partner. So that means you just rent the server and the game is already up and running there. Of course, you have to install the mods you want, right?
And you need to own the game, obviously. That's also sometimes a bit unclear to the customers and the users. So server doesn't replace the game. You need to own the game and run the game on your console or PC, then you can rent a server additionally and just join the server and have your own world, your own farm with your own rules and own mods.
And you need to update your game all the time because the servers are always running on the latest version of Farming Simulator.
We do actually offer choosing between the, let's say it like this, on default we are starting it with the latest version, but we also offer to run the previous version as well, if you for some reason don't want to update, but usually there's no valid reason to not update.
No, there have been valid reasons in Farming Simulator 19 when you ask me, because if you bought the game on our website and there was an update and you have to download like almost 3 gigabytes of data or something, some people would just turn around and go like, I don't want to do that right now, my internet is not good enough, whatever. Yeah. But with Farming Simulator 22, we changed all of these. We have Delta patching now, which means that we only patch the things that we changed. So your game will auto-update if you start the game. It will give you the option to update right now. You press the button, it starts updating, and it only downloads what has changed and not bigger chunks.
Oh, that's handy. Then we might ditch the feature and just offer the most current version.
Well, you heard it right here, Chad. We just managed to get rid of a feature. No, we shouldn't do that.
Feature killers.
Feature killers.
But yeah, I wouldn't even know at this point why you would stick with an old version of the game.
No, there's no reason anymore. And unless you don't have internet. But if you don't have internet, you are not using any server. I can promise you that much. Because, it's super hard to connect without internet.
It's a bit of an ordeal.
Absolutely. But that also means that you are not limited anymore by the guy hosting the game if you're a console player. Because we all know that there are the synchronization windows. People complain about them a lot. They don't like them. We made them faster, but still, if you have someone with a very slow internet connection or a lot of people connecting to you as the host, it slows down everything. These servers, you heard it, they are in data centers around the world. So if you're looking from the United States, you have a data center right there somewhere. If you are in Germany... Well, America is big. If you're in Germany, I think the German one is it in Karlsruhe?
No, so we can go through the cities quickly. So starting in the US, it's Los Angeles, Miami, and New York. Then brand new is Sao Paulo in Brazil. And we have for Europe, London and Frankfurt. And Eastern Europe continent is Moscow in Russia. And then we also have Singapore, going to Asia now, Tokyo, and for Australia, we have own servers in Sydney. And we have to mention those machines they're fully owned by us. So we buy the hardware, we customize the hardware so that it all is optimized for acting as game servers using latest technologies. We have close partnership with Intel. They are supplying us with cutting-edge hardware, server CPUs. And you also just mentioned network is a thing. So we have internet ports in the data centers to the most important ISPs. For example, the German ones, they know the Deutsche Telekom. And we have a direct connection with them. Or, for example, for the Australian gamers, we have a direct connection to Telstra, which is similar to the Deutsche Telekom. So that ensures a smooth gameplay all the time.
And can totally see a lot of people out there going, damn, Nitrado is bigger than I thought it is, because that happened to me when back to PAX. We had this nice artwork on the back of our wall where we had all the Nitrado data centers that were up back then. I think back then it was like eight or something. I think, and they were all over the map. And I was like, damn, I didn't know they're everywhere. Turns out Nitrado is a big company. And I just had no idea because I was sitting with the CEO in a pub, basically, having Mexican food, drinking beers, having a good time. And I was like, man, this can't be a huge company because this is the CEO. Why would he drink beer with a community manager? Turns just out Marcel is a cool dude. That's why we invited him.
Thank you so much.
It's that easy. It's not even. I'm not even making this up. That's exactly how it happened. It was kind of confusing. A lot of important people and a tiny community manager. Well, not tiny.
No. I can assure you're not tiny.
That is true. You're one of the tallest people I know.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, coming back to this, that basically means for everyone out there that you are able to get these servers now. And as we said, crossplay, play with your friends, whatever system they are on, as long as they own Farming Simulator 22. However, there are some limitations that we need to talk about, and that are the mods.
Dreadful. But why?
Yeah, but it is not as bad as you would think it is.
Yeah.
So, of course, unless you're, for example, right now, and I have to say that, even if it sounds sad, if you're a Stadia player, you get the short end of the stick because no mod support right now. And as it stands, we don't have mod support for Farming Simulator 22, but that doesn't mean there is none once it starts, right? This is still up in discussion. We don't know. For everyone else, we do have mods, and people who play our game for a while know that we have mods that include scripts and mods that don't include scripts. And if mod includes scripts, they can't run on console. That means if you're a PC player and you want to use a mod with scripts, you can't cross-play with someone on PlayStation 4 or 5 or on Xbox, because these consoles can't use them. You need to use mods that work on both platforms. Good news is that in our mod hub, you will be able to identify what mod works with crossplay and what doesn't. So you can just check out a mod and it will tell you, yes, that one is crossplay compatible. And if that's true, great. Run it, have fun. With our new system, it's also possible to download all these mods. Like if you set up the server and the server is ready for your friends to join and they try to join, it will identify all the mods that are missing and automatically download and install them to your system, given that they were on ModHub, because we can't ensure that for mods that are not on ModHub. And again, they have to fit, like, you can't just put mod scripts on the server and go like, oh, if the console connects now, it will get the script mods. Nope.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Nope. It has to be in the mod hub. So make sure that you check out the mod hub and make sure that every mod you use is crossplay compatible, or every one of your friends is playing on the same system as you. If all of you play PS4 and you only use PS4 mods, all good. If all of you play on PC and you only use PC mods, all good. If you have one on PS4 or PS5 and one on PC and you use a mod with scripts, you won't be able to connect. The server is not helping with that. Because that's what it is. So
it sounds more complicated than it is, I think. So people will probably understand really quickly. And
it's super easy. It just has a flag mentioning it's crossplay compatible. You see it. Let's say you see a tractor. You're like, is that one crossplay compatible? It says yes or no. It says yes.
Good.
Basically, you press a button. Boom! It's there. Console can use it. Awesome.
Wonderful.
It is
the usage is
super
easy.
simple. Everything super simple, so that our players can enjoy it very quickly and don't have to, learn programming for like 10 hours. It is super easy. And if you guys have ever used a Nitrado server or mods in our mod hub, and I'm quite sure 90% of you have at least, then you know it's not that hard. It's super easy.
That's great.
Yeah. Anything else we would like to cover? Otherwise, I think we mentioned everything. We have the big news: servers for everyone, crossplay for everyone, and that means more fun for everyone, I hope.
Most certainly we'll have more fun. I think the only thing that came into my head was mentioning that when nobody is on the dedicated server, the gameplay pauses.
Yeah, right. The gameplay pauses.
Yeah. So that means that if everyone disconnects, the game will not, you will not come back to the server after a day of work and be like, oh God, all my crops are withered. Oh no.
Especially with seasons now. Oh, all of a sudden we are in July, but I left in December. That would just be hurtful. Yeah,
wasn't that a setting?
It is a setting.
It is a setting.
It is a setting. You can actually keep your server running even if everyone is disconnected and the server plays for itself, basically, without anyone on it. But recommendation from someone who has a couple of hours in that game, let's phrase it that way, don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So, if you see that button and you are tempted, you're like, oh, this is so realistic, just don't. Unless you know exactly what you're doing. But it can be so frustrating for someone who, you tell them, okay, we're going to play tonight at 8, and then for some reason he can't make it. whatever reason it is, he joins at 10 or 11 and then everything is just withered. Like, well, great. So, yeah, don't.
I totally can see the appeal. Like, if you get 2-3 friends together and you make that a thing, that would be amazing.
But there's a reason why we have that option, because I know people love trying these things. So if you friends are, comfortable with it.
You need a global team and follow the sun and everything, so that's getting complicated.
Wow. This could be a nightmare, but, each to their own. If they want to play like that, they want to play like that. Well, anyway, guys, thank you, Marcel, for taking the time to talk us through server technology very quick.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank
Always.
you for being here.
Is there anything you would like to add? This is your chance.
Not a shameless advertising, maybe. If you ever screw up with your map or your farm or something, we have a daily backup feature, so you could restore it just to the previous day or so.
Well, you deserve shameless advertising. We invited you to talk about server tech, so it's totally fine to talk about your own tech. That's why we don't pay you for being here.
Wait for it. How much is usually that?
Well, everyone else gets... No, I'm not going to that rabbit hole. No. Again, thank you for being here, and for everyone out there, thank you for listening. I think that is an exciting week with exciting news. Crossplay for everyone, dedicated servers for everyone. These are 2 news that I'm quite sure a lot of you guys have waited for. They are awesome, and we have about 60 days to go before we release the game. As of the release of this podcast, we can't wait to show you a little bit more. We have 1 or 2 things more that we're going to discuss in future podcasts. Until then, have a great time, and goodbye, everyone. Bye.
This is so exciting. Bye-bye.